Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers. We're here to cover the Australian Online Supercar Championship, the Phillip Island 150, and as you can see they're out there starting their qualifying now, and as always we've got Daniel Leet in the combox with me. Welcome Daniel. It's going to be an exciting night. We've got a huge amount of drivers out there.
Yeah, good evening Bernie, and welcome to all the viewers joining us tonight. It's a great turnout tonight. I think we're 50 plus cars at the moment, so it's going to be really interesting around this little tight track that we're running tonight.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I'm just going to bring up our slides so we can actually have a look at some race facts here, and let's go through the sort of strategy we're going to be seeing tonight, Daniel, as well as the pit window and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like as normal we're going to have two alternate strategies. I'd have a guess to say here tonight. We're going to have guys coming anywhere in from lap 14 to lap 21. So I guess tonight, we know that the track's pretty hard on tyres. Do we gamble on coming in early, getting in and a full set of tyres and fuel and going again, or do we run it longer? What do you think, Bernie?
Well, it is a gamble because, as always, we've got a random safety car, and if you get caught outside of the pits when that comes out, you're going to have to wait for a lap and then you go to the end of the longest line. We've seen a few guys stung by that throughout this season, so if I was running this I would probably opt to come in as early as I could and to make it home from there.
Yeah, definitely. That's not a bad move, especially like you say, as we're going to have the pits closed on that first lap. So, especially with a big field like this, if you get caught at that back end, it's going to be quite interesting and difficult making your way back up through the field.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they've only got 33 laps to do it in tonight, and that's going to go pretty quickly for them. The other one is the incident points, isn't it? I think they've only got 25 incident points for this event. Yeah,
so incidents, especially on this track, you're going to have to be careful with the high speed you get coming onto the front straight and the close contact of the cars. It's easy to throw a wheel off and there's a 4X for you. So race management is going to be a big key part for these guys getting around here tonight.
Yeah, it certainly is, and as always folks, if there's a big incident on the first lap, we can expect a safety car out of round about lap 3. That's not the random safety car, that just allows the guys to get the cars fixed and back out again. Now, as far as fast repairs go tonight, I think they only have one fast repair, so they're going to have to they're going to have to just go a little bit easy at the start.
Yeah, definitely. So it is one fast repair for the night, so if you end up burning that in the first few laps because of a big shunt, you've got to drive very smart for the rest of the race to get home without too much issue.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's going to be an interesting race. I always find these 150s quite interesting. They're different, aren't they? Because the wick is turned up, so to speak, and the guys are far more aggressive than we are used to seeing them in the 650s.
Oh, definitely. I mean, everyone's going to go for that top step. So, at least with an enduro, you've got that bit of a chance to find your spot, get up your positions. Whereas here, you're at it straight out of the gate, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's have a look at the players in the non-endurance standings, which is basically the sprint rounds, from what I understand. So we'll go through those at the moment and see who the big players are. Ian Ford at the moment, he's leading by 60 points, and he's running for Evolution Racing Team. We can see him out there qualifying at the moment, sitting in second. His teammate Luke Harvey is sitting in second position, and third Riley Blythe. So we've got ERA now 1, 2 and 3 in the non-endurance driver standings. Pete Sattler for Stealth Sim Sport 1, he is sitting in fourth, and then fifth is Thomas Hinz, and it looks like Thomas is a privateer, and he's sitting in fifth position at the moment, Daniel.
Yeah, and like we see, the first three, especially with the Evolution Racing Team cars now, I mean, they're 1, 2, 3, so they're running very strongly here, and 160 points between those top three drivers is extremely close. But even the battles, fourth and fifth, 500 points, and Thomas, just under 1,000 points behind. If they get a good couple of rounds, they can make that up reasonably well.
Yeah, they certainly can. And if we look at the team championship standings as they are, we'll bring those up and have a look at the moment. And this takes into account, from what I understand, all the sprint rounds. The guys that where they finish, they get points for their team, as well as all the enduros. Is that correct?
Yeah. So as we saw on the sprint series one, we've got Evolution Team One with their two guys, obviously first and second in the championship. They're leading. So we see Stealth Simsport in second. They haven't had any wins yet, but good consistent results. They're running in second place at the moment. So consistency, massive key here. Third, ERT again. Strong showing with those guys. Stealth Sim Sports 2 in fourth, and Progressive Racing Australia running out the top 5 there.
Yeah, so it's quite a domination by those two teams, isn't it? Evolution Racing Team, Stealth Sim Sport. The one that I'm surprised we don't see up further is the Synergy Sim Racing boys, because they're normally very strong when it comes to the enduros.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen them strong in some of the other series that we've encountered them across, especially the endurance ones. So they've got good talent behind them. They should definitely make their way up towards the end. The other one probably that's not quite up where they want to be is probably the laser racing cars as well. We saw some great results at the start of the season from those guys as well. So if they get the cards full right, they're definitely a chance to come up, grab a spot or two here and there.
Yeah, they certainly are, and we'll keep an eye on that. I was looking at our schedule. Of course, next week's the 70-70 round, which we're not broadcasting. That's the two sprint races, the short ones. Then I think we've only got another three more rounds after this one before it's the end of the season. So it's coming up very quickly. And so we've got one more 650 and one more 150 after tonight, and one 70-70 from what I understand.
Yeah, so the guys are all going to want to put on a decent showing in these last three events. So maybe we'll see a surprise outsider come and nip at the heels of either Evolution Team Australia or Stealth Sim Sports there in the team events and the driver standings.
Yeah, well, will we see an outsider tonight? Because I'm looking at the amount of drivers we've got out there. There's 58 registered in the server. Whether they all take the grid or not is another story, but that is a massive field of guys trying to qualify. And qualifying tonight, the key is, isn't it? It's going to be trying to find that free track for one lap around here and not get balked by all this traffic.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially most of our regulars would know, especially with qualifying, the minute you get an off track, be it a zero contact or a 1x, that's gone for that lap. So if you have a great track condition run with no one in front of you, you've got to try and repeat that. So they'll probably find the draft will definitely help, but space is all important for this time.
Yeah, it certainly is, and hopefully tonight, folks, you've all found us on our live broadcast. We're doing it a bit differently tonight. Instead of using the live room, we're actually scheduling our events, and which brings it up in a separate link. So hopefully everyone can find us, and hopefully everyone's settled in for a great night of V8 Supercar action. Yeah,
definitely, and I guess while we're looking at it, we might have a quick run through our top 5 currently in qualifying. We've got Josh K. Rogers leading the way. He's dipped into the 129.8, so that's a great time currently. Ian Ford is second on a 130.135. Glenn Pothaway in third. He's 5 thousandths of a second behind Ian there, so those two times are extremely competitive. Jordan Ross in fourth on a 1 minute 30.186, and running out the 5, Michael Hammond on a 1 minute 30.232. So extremely tight times at the top. There's not much in there, is there?
No, there definitely isn't. And having a look at our track today, forget the overlay, folks. That's Circuit Villeneuve. I still haven't fixed that, but total turns tonight 12. Track length 4 kilometres, wind speed today 14 kilometres an hour with a track temp of 31 degrees Celsius. So not too bad out there on the track, but as you were saying, the top 5 are still vying for those final positions, and we've got the top 3 at the moment out on track.
Yeah, very close time between these guys, and obviously they're going to be running as light as possible, but that smallest bit of off track or coming up on one of the competitors in the wrong spot, there goes a tenth or two straight out the door. So we'd like to see these times at the top tighten up just a touch more, but for what it is, the boys are putting on a great show just to begin with.
They certainly are. We just saw Ian Ford there start his quali lap, and as we were saying, he went in the wall, but as I was saying before, Josh Rogers started one, but he got balked by a car re-entering the track on turn 1, which sent him off. So that's that lap pretty much done and dusted. He's still pushing on, which just surprises me. I thought he'd throw that straight into the pits and come back out.
Yeah, it depends too. If they've got tyres where they need to get them up just that little bit more, they may still need that second lap to get the job done. So, I guess tyre strategy, even qualifying, is so important. Do you go out with the tyres a little topped up close, or do you start with them down a touch and bring them in on that second lap?
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to find out, but I tell you what, at the moment we've got Synergy Sim Racing sitting in first and third, with ERT sitting in second in the top 3. So this is what I was saying, Synergy Sim Racing, they're always strong, but they just don't seem to be putting enough points on the board to keep up with the other guys, and I guess it could be they're just not getting consistent top 3 finishing with all their cars.
Yeah, if you've got, having said that, we see Stealth Sim Sports second in the overall. They haven't taken a race, but they've had 8 really good races that have been up high in the points that are definitely helping. So you don't have to win everything. Consistency plays a big part, which everyone here is going to aim for. So Synergy may not find that what some of the tracks we've gone to have suited their drivers necessarily, but everyone here has put massive amounts of time and knows this track like the back of their hand. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them do really well tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on them. And speaking about keeping an eye on the racing, I just got a message from one of our viewers, Les Peck. He said he's settling in very well out there tonight. He's got his stubby and he's got it up on the big screen tonight, so he's looking forward to the V8's action, and we're thankful, Les, you're out there enjoying the broadcast.
Yeah, definitely. I hope you got a few spare, Les. We might have to come join you for one after the race.
What do you mean after? Surely you can drop some up during.
Well, that too. I wouldn't mind just sitting on the pit wall with an ice cream, watch the guys go by, and have a bit of fun that way. Yeah,
well, it'd be pretty exciting down there on the pit wall, especially the speeds these guys go down that main straight.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've seen some of the cars tonight, 280 k's through the speed trap, so they're not going slow, which is great to see around this track.
Yeah, it certainly is. We can see now Ian Ford is just coming into the final corners now on his fast lap, currently sitting in second, and he spins it coming into the last corner, second last corner, so that's the end of that run. Glenn Postlethwaite now goes across the line in third. He does not improve that time, and he did a 1:31.454, so a good 1.3 seconds off his fastest lap, and that could be traffic because there's quite a lot of people out there. Jordan Ross at the moment, another Synergy sim racing entry, he's sitting in fourth, so we've got Synergy at the moment first, third and fourth on the starting grid here.
Yeah, so like we said, you don't have to win it everywhere, but these guys definitely are getting set up right for this track, so they're doing quite well. The other good one, Michael Hammond, he's only a couple of hundredths of a second off Ian Ford's time, so if he gets a good run or even a really nice tow, you might even see him jump a spot or two here and maybe even knock Ian off second.
Yeah, well, I don't see him on track at the moment. Jason Bentz is also not on track, or Brian Borg, but Luke Harvey is. Well, he's in the car anyway, and 46 seconds to go. He's not going to get a run, so a lot of the top 10 now are pretty much happy with their run, and it looks like they're sitting in the pits. But saying that, Josh Rogers is exiting now, but 32 seconds to go. I don't think he's going to get a fast lap in.
No, not at all. More than likely, he's got his race set in now, so full of fuel, and the tyres down where he's starting. This just might be a bit of a play just to sort of see what he's going to be looking for once the race gets going.
Yeah, well, that's right. But I reckon speaking about getting going, I think we should start on this grid because it's a huge grid and it's going to take us probably a couple of minutes to get through. So let's start on that, and all the viewers out there can see where their favourite drivers will be starting from tonight. So starting out of pole position will be Josh Rogers. He set a 1:29.849, followed by Ian Ford in second. Glenn Postlethwaite will start out of third tonight. Jordan Ross out of fourth. Fifth will be Michael Hammond. Out of sixth is Jason Bentz, followed by Brian Borg. Luke Harvey will start out of eighth tonight. Bo Cubis out of ninth, and rounding out your top 10 is Michael Cracknell.
Yeah, in P11 we've got Nick Cummings, 12th is Sean Evans, 13th is Peter Sattler, 14th is Ryan O'Sullivan, 15th is Jeff Rahal, and I'll probably butcher that, I'm sorry mate, 16th Jackson Evans, 17th Riley Blythe, 18th is Phil Piggott, 19th is Thomas Hissons, and 20th we've got Adam Zeitinger.
And out of 21st tonight's Paul Tajavara, followed by Tyson Williams down there in 22nd. Blake Neck will start out at 23rd with Henry King in the Zuva entry out of 24th. 25th is Michael Talenjak. I can never pronounce his name, so we'll just call him Michael T. Out of 26 is Jamie Owens, followed by Sean Thompson. Sean wasn't sure if he was going to run tonight, but it's great to see him out there in 27th. Darryl Carter will start out at 28th. Wayne Taylor out at 29th. Jaden Borg will, that rounds out our top 30.
And 31st we've got Jamie McKnight. 32nd Nathan Thagarin. 33rd is Matthew Collett. 34th is Sean Chappell. 35th is Jake Maloney. 36th is Kyle Sloggett. 37th Stephen Varga. 38th is Daryl Hockey. 39th is Adam Wyberton. And 40th Brendan Bateman.
And looking at 41st, we've got Jared Tapsell starting out of 42nd, Peter Derrick, followed by Jonathan Ben in 43rd, Tony Gaffer out of 44th, Nick Hausler down there in 45th. Out of 46th tonight is Glenn Brockhurst, followed by Cody Trainer, and then we have Nathan Mankey out of 48th. 49th is Simon Mazzomo, and rounding out your top 50 is Mark Fee.
Yeah, and the last of the guys to settle up to, we've got Damien Charleston, the 51st, Mark Torkins, 52nd, Matt Stratford in 53rd, and Forsnell Narby in 54th. Got a few guys though that haven't set lap times, so might be looking, come from the back of the grid and see how their fortunes will favour them. Yeah,
and those ones are Shane Rayner, Katie Rose Taranto, Troy Allen, and Benjamin Smith did not set time, so we'll see if they do take to the grid. We're just waiting for all the guys to grid up now. Massive field though, and folks, just be patient with us. It's gonna be hard graft for us to keep track of what all these drivers are doing, especially on the opening laps, but we'll try and get you the replays as quickly as we can. Also, Daniel, I don't know about you, but these races, when we have huge fields, my telemetry tends to struggle as well.
Yeah, I haven't done too many of them, but given the field size that we've got, it's going to be very interesting just to see what minor issues we get as far as telemetry goes tonight. But I'm actually really looking forward to the start of this one. I think it's going to be crackers.
Crackers is probably an understatement, and we're just waiting for all the guys to grid up here. We'll get rid of the driver overlay. We don't need that at the moment, and we're going to be racing very shortly. If we have a look from the blimp very quickly, you can see just how big this field is. Well, my screen isn't even rendering towards the end of the grid. That's how big it is.
Yeah, it's massive. I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to have guys gridding around through the last corner and possibly almost back towards Leaky Heights at this rate with the amount of cars we got. So it's going to be interesting. The guys at the back aren't going to have good view of the front, so they're going to have to really be eyes open and look out for any possible incidents that may come their way.
They certainly are. I'm just getting our overlays set up, and I don't know about you, I know the drivers are starting to get a little bit nervous, and so am I, and we're under starters orders now, and we're going to be racing. So here we go. Phillip Island 150, green, car 92 off, followed by the 15. That's Ian Ford in second. Good start, but let's hold our breath, folks, as they come through the first corner here, and it's about 4 wide deep in the field.
Yeah, there's a few cars 3 wide in turn 1, a couple off on the grass, so most of the guys are doing a great job to get through without any major issues. So I think that's everyone through now, so we've done really well. Great driving by all at this point.
Yeah, it certainly is great driving. We've had no incidents, touch wood, coming into the first of the hairpins though. We've got Josh Rogers leading Ian Ford. Ian's looking on the inside, tucks a nose in, settles down. Glenn's in second, followed by his teammate Jordan Ross, fourth, fifth, Michael Hammond. So a good start there by Michael, and Jason Bentz followed by Luke Harvey.
Yeah, it's great action. There's a few going into Honda where I think one of the cars just slightly sliding off. But everyone's still getting through nice and cleanly, so great work by the fellas at the back of the pack tonight too.
Yeah, and we're just looking at all the cars stream through, and 3 wide, that's just crazy back there. Let's go up the front, it's a lot less nuts.
Yeah, definitely, and to see these guys 3 wide, I mean, they're giving each other a lot of room, which is what you want to see at the beginning. So everyone's going through extremely smart, no stupid dives. And we got a couple just off at the bottom of Lukey Heights there.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they are, but they're still streaming through, looking all the way down 39th at the moment, and we've got Daryl Hockey down here in the 006 car, followed by Nick Hausler, and they're still streaming on. But if we jump up the front, yeah, they've got a good, quarter of a lap from the start of the field to the end after lap 1 here.
Yeah, it's starting to settle down. A few gaps opening up at the start of the race. So, like I've said a couple of times now, guys have done great to get through as cleanly as they have with the amount of cars that are on track at the moment.
Oh yeah, they've done a fantastic job, and my telemetry's only showing us the top 33 cars, and then all the others are showing in white, which is a normal thing with telemetry because it's trying to send us live data on so many cars.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm actually starting to get the same issues, and just watching the amount of changes for position is quite incredible.
It certainly is, and we can see now Josh Rogers. Last time by he had a half a second gap, but I think it's going to be a bit bigger when he comes across the line this time, and as he's stretching his legs. Just trying to get the last lap, but I don't even have that on my telemetry at the moment.
No, not at this point. I think I might have seen one car spun at the bottom of Lukey Heights. I'm not still sure if he's there, but that's definitely not a place you want to be sitting with a field, especially as big as we got tonight.
Yeah, we can see Nathan Menkey's just come out of the pits. He was involved in that earlier incident, and I'll tell you what, he's going to go a lap down already, and we're only on lap 2 here, and I reckon he must be getting that sinking feeling at the moment. We've got another 31 laps of this race to go, and already he's 1 lap down.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to want to play the strategy game tonight. So if the safety car comes out, hopefully any time when the actual pit window opens up, he may be able to recover that when everyone comes through. So not the best start, but certainly not the worst, and he should hopefully be able to recover.
Yeah, and we're just riding there on the roof of Ian Ford, and we can see further back Glenn Posey trying to get past Nathan, and he gets past now, but he had 2 wheels on the grass there, and you can tell the desperation of the front guys. They do not want to lose time, and one of them has tagged Nathan, and he's back off again, and that was Jordan Ross, I think, might have been involved in that.
Yeah, I think so. And I was just watching another incident with Sean Thompson, going into Honda. I think he's just out-braked himself getting around Daryl Carter there, and nearly took out one of the Stealth SimSport cars in the process. But a little hard when you're on that dirty stuff just to sort of keep it going in a straight line there by the looks.
Certainly is. We're just having a look at this replay. You can see up ahead Posey getting past Nathan now. Nathan giving plenty of room, but just coming up here towards Lukey Heights, and Nathan got tagged in the back there by Jordan, and then he came back across the track, as we can see on the slow-mo, and tagged Jordan again. So a double tap, I guess you could call that one.
Yeah, by the looks of it, and just so the viewers are aware too, we're actually currently under safety car, so it's been give a chance for the guys that are a little further down now to catch up and get back on the lead lap, but it's pretty cracking start, wasn't it? There's some interesting driving and some big moves going on there.
Yeah, it certainly is. And as we were saying earlier, folks, if there's an incident in the first lap, I guess it is, they generally call a safety car out to allow those guys to get back on the lead lap. But saying that, Nathan's now used his fast repair, and he's probably going to be sitting in the pits after that last hit. And it doesn't look good.
No, and I'm noticing here, it looks like Jordan Ross is carrying a bit of front-end damage as well on his car. He's currently sitting in 4th position, but there's no bonnet or left-hand front fender on that car at the moment either.
Sorry, who was that?
Jordan Ross, car 143, is current 4th position at the moment.
Yeah, he was the one that was involved in that last incident when he tagged the back of Nathan coming into Lukey Heights. Nathan then came across the track and ran into the side of him, which is where all that damage has come from.
Yeah, so if we may see him dive in the pits and possibly use that fast repair, but if he does, I mean, that's going to put him out of sequence on pit strategy too, which may work out. He'll get a shorter stop when he does come through.
Yeah, well, that's right. And looking at our pit window we spoke about early, what would you do here? I guess I'd expect a lot of guys might just pop in, top up. Would you do that, or would you stay out there?
I think this early on in the race, ideally you'd probably have to stay out just to keep position. If you do go in, you either got a lot of damage, but you've got to be prepared that you're starting right at the back end of the field. So I reckon you'd have to stay out just to make the most of it.
Okay, so we'll see what they're doing, and of course you're always right. It looks like they're doing what you said, Daniel, is staying out. Just having a look at the guys that have had to come into the pits during the first couple of laps. Nathan Mankey, of course, we'll probably see him back in the pits if he hasn't retired. The other drivers affected were Brian Borg, Henry King, Nathan Tregarthen and Jake Maloney have all had to go into the pits having a look at their times, probably using their fast repairs. And I tell you what, if they have used their fast repairs, they've used them up very early in this race. Yeah,
so and given the tightness of the racing we're seeing so far, they're going to have to be very careful not to do any major damage on their car. I guess the other thing we haven't spoke about either is the pit lane entrance. Given the way that this track wraps around and how iRacing is not quite set up the best with road racing yellow flag pit stops in mind, everyone who stays out behind a car entering is going to have to manage that gap so they don't get a black flag as well. So going to be a lot of driver thinking going on as to how they're going to maintain that gap and not get affected down the line.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I'm looking at all the guys out there running, and the times are all setting. Pretty much I think we've got a full field out there. We're missing probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so probably a field size of around about 50 there tonight.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a turnout for this track, so great effort for the guys that have turned up, put in the time, get the cars where they want to be and out running, so it makes it quite enjoyable for us to try and keep on top of it tonight.
Yeah, it certainly does, and while we're under safety car here, I'm going to go back and see if we can find out who was involved in that first lap incident that you're talking about, and we know Nathan Mankey was. Also, I'm just having a look back here. It's very hard to pick them up with such a big field, isn't it? Because a lot of the guys are going to get off tracks just due to the traffic.
Oh, absolutely. I'm watching it here at the moment, and my monitor's going car to car to car, and I'm struggling to keep up with where everything's at.
Yeah, so we're jumping back to have a look at Pete Sattler here and see what sort of trouble he got into, as we can see them streaming by and all the rocks being thrown up onto our race cam. But just having a look, doesn't look like I can't see any major issue.
No, I think I saw one of the TTL car get pushed a little bit through into Honda, but everyone else seemed to get through reasonably clean and not too bad from there on out. Yeah,
and we're back under green by the looks of it, is that correct?
Yes, mate. The green's come out again as we missed that. And everyone's, we've got a couple of cars here too wide going through towards Honda at the moment. So the boys are back on it. We'll have to catch up and watch what's going on.
Yeah, that's Jeff Rayleigh and Ryan O'Sullivan. Ryan on the inside, the purple car. Jeff outside. Jackson Evans is also trying to put his nose in there, and he's given Ryan a little bit of is that Jeff a bit of a tap, I think, but Jeff gathers it up.
Yeah, we'll want to keep a bit of an eye, I think, on Jackson. I mean, he races real life in the Australian Porsche Cup, so he's quite a talented steerer.
Yeah, well, he unsettled Jeff's car slightly, which gave him the pass there. And I guess that's when you call that the bump and run. So he's jumped up a position to 10th. It wasn't enough to turn Jeff around, just enough to unsettle that car and make him gather it up. But of course he loses momentum. Then we've got Thomas Hinz and Tyson Williams down here in 12th and 13th. But of course, back up the front, it's the Josh show again as he gets that gap out. Ian Ford second. Pozzie's looking better this time round, and he's starting to put the pressure on the back. Jordan Ross, I'm impressed with him. He's actually pretty much hanging with these guys, even though half the front of his car's hanging off.
Yeah, if he's able to maintain the draft from Glenn in front of him, he should be all right. But I'd just be wary. I mean, Vince is going to put a pretty hard move on him and make him work to hold that position as well.
I certainly will be making him hard to hold it. And, when you can see a crippled animal, no, let's not use that analogy. He can tell he's hurting, can't he? So he's going to be, Jason's going to be all over him to make that pain even more if he can. It looks like, I'm just having a look at our telemetry, it looks like Nathan Mankey has retired that car from that last incident. And, very unfortunate for him. But looking at that incident, he was trying to get out of the way of those guys. They were just in a hurry, weren't they?
Yeah, and when you've got this many cars around you, it is very hard to sort of stay safe, especially if there is an incident in front of you, or even if you're the one involved in it. So he's not gone out there and tried to cause any issue with anyone. It's just quite unfortunate the way it's played out for him. Yeah,
definitely, and you could tell the desperation of the guys as now we jump on the roof of Pozzie, and I prefer to call him Pozzie because I can't pronounce his second name, as we come down into turn 1 for the 7th time here at Phillip Island. Total distance tonight, folks, 33 laps here, and it's been all action station so far.
It has indeed, and I mean, Glenn's working really hard here to keep Ian honest, and he's not putting the car in any dangerous spots, so he'll just work on the back and see if he can push Ian just into that slight mistake and get up there.
You can just see him, he's just really hanging at the moment, hasn't got many opportunities. Meanwhile, Ian Ford's decided he's going to flick as many rocks up as he can, as we see him going flying past the roof cam here.
Yeah, and the one thing especially with this track, if you get a little bit of an off track, and we saw it in practice earlier on, you bring a lot of dirt up on the road, it does get pretty skatey. So if you're trying to go around the outside or 2 wide or 3 wide even, you've got to be very careful that you don't hit that and possibly send it off into a wall, or loop it and take someone else out behind you.
Oh, definitely, and I tell you what, as this race progresses, we're going to see a lot of dirt, because the V8s, they tend to bring a lot of dirt onto the track, don't they?
Oh, definitely. It's just the nature of the car, the way it handles. You got a lot of car, not a lot of tyre, so if you can keep it on the black stuff, you're doing great. If you get a little bit out, why not? It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what V8 Supercars is all about, isn't it? Just fun. Well, fun if you like hanging out of a train at 100 kilometres an hour. That's also fun, I've been told.
Yeah, hey, I mean, how often do you see a dog with the head out the window? So, I mean, these boys are going to have a good night tonight, and they'll just push on as much as they can and get what they can out of the cars. Yeah,
and we can see Jordan Ross there just still hanging on with that damaged car. He's actually doing a really good job, and that's going to fill him with confidence. Having a car that badly damaged, if he can hold his own, he's going to be looking pretty good once these first pit stops come through.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, I reckon we might see him doing a similar trick that we've seen Ian do a few times, where he'll sit behind, save a bit of fuel, and you might get a lap or two and extend that fuel window.
Yeah, and races like this make a big difference, don't they? And it'll be interesting to see what Ian's playing at as well tonight, because we have seen him do fuel saving. I don't think he's fuel saving tonight though, because they're all in the 130s, and if he can fuel save at that speed, I'd probably take my hat off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've only got, especially on the last lap, our top three were the only cars in the 1 minute 30 range that I can see. So they're making a bit of hay while sun shines and getting away from the field. But even the guys behind them, 5 and 6 of them all in the 131s. So given the amount of traffic the boys are all running nice and clean but really consistent lap times.
Yeah, they certainly are. And further down in the pack, though, it's getting really interesting here. We're having a look at Sean Evans in the 15, and he's got... is that Sean Evans in the 15? No, it's not. Just trying to work out who that is. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, I've got Sean Evans in 96 at the moment.
Yeah, I was just looking at the wrong cars. Sorry about that. Yeah, Sean Evans here in the 96, and he's got the 71 Ryan O'Sullivan just behind him. Jackson Evans, and they are really starting to climb over each other. But I was looking at Ian Ford now, really wide there, and Possie's through.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be careful though coming through. Oh, actually no, sorry, I was replay. He's through nice and cleanly. So great move by Glenn there, and Ross just touches the back of Ian getting through Leafy Heights there.
Yeah, we're just having a look at this replay to show, and Ian was hanging on the outside, 2 wheels off, gathers it up. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on Jordan here to show the viewers what you just saw.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a little bit of a love tap there between the two, just letting him know he's there. I guess, Jordan doesn't have much more of that front end he can damage, so why not?
Well, that's it. And I mean, you use what he's got now, get a fast repair on his stop, and given where he's sitting, especially with that damage, he's in really good position to go well tonight.
Yeah, he certainly is, and we're riding now with Jason Bentz here. He's closed up right on the back of Possie. Oh, I thought he was going to tag him. He had to back out of that, and looking on the outside.
Yeah, Jason's a really methodical driver though. He'll look for the gap. He won't push you into it. He'll make you bugger it up. So he'll just play nice here and do what he can do to get past there, I reckon.
Yeah, you could just see how much Jordan stopped on where was that? That was down turn 3. And you could just see Jason wobbling the wheels, wondering which way to go. But fortunately, he didn't tag him. But it gives the viewers an idea of how quick these drivers' reactions have to be.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, when you're coming into break, most of these guys are breaking either 200 metre boards, or if you're extremely brave, around the 150. So you've got to have confidence in your gear that you're going to pull it up in time and not ruin anyone else's race. And we've seen in real life quite a few times where someone does that, hits the inside grass, and there's been some monster shots after that.
Yeah, and I'm just having a look on our telemetry as well. Looks like Sean Thompson has dropped off the server according to my telemetry here, and we'll have to get that confirmed, of course, but he's dropping down the field, and it looks like he's gone down 1 lap. Yeah,
I've just noticed that as well, so that's a bit unfortunate for Sean. He had some good pace, especially in practice and qualifying, so he's not going to be overly impressed with that one, I don't think.
No, not at all. And as I was saying earlier tonight, he wasn't sure if he was going to actually run tonight, and it looks like he did, but it doesn't look like it's paid any dividends at the moment. But we'll definitely try and confirm that a bit later, folks, if he has definitely retired or not.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick scan through the field, because racing up the front's quite good, but some of these battles down the back are probably where I'm going to want to have a bit of a look at later on, so I might just quickly see what's happening with these guys as well.
Yeah, check out Riley Blythe, Thomas Hinds, they're going at it here in 14th and 15th position, and it looks like Riley might have just made that move.
Yeah, actually, we've got a nice little battle. Where are we? 35th. We've got Adam Wyburton, Phil Piggott, and Simon Mazzomo. Those three cars are going really good over the back of the circuit here, up on the Lukey, and plenty of room given by all three of these guys at the moment as well.
Yeah, well, we just got pictures of Adam Wyburn there getting a big hip and shove, two wheels in the air off, and that was coming up towards Lukey Heights, but he's, of course, as his car says, he's soldiering on.
Yeah, definitely, and another one making a bit of a comeback after sort of going a bit of an off-track excursion is Daryl Carter. He's on the back of the train here, currently fighting with Phil Piggott. So he's making his way back up, but he's currently 37, so a lot of work ahead of him to get back there.
Yeah, well, this is like peak hour on steroids for a lot of these guys, and we can see, I'm just trying to find out where Pete Sattler is, but he's down in 40th. And the reason I mention him, folks, is during the safety car, he's going to be our in-car reporter tonight, and we'll be crossing to him live just to see how his racing's shaping up. And of course, deep in the field, I'm sure he's got a few stories to tell us. Yeah,
definitely, and it looks like Pete's just come out of pit lane as well, so he might be looking to play the early game strategy and get through pits now and make a move once that safety car does come out, or if it does come out, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm assuming that first safety car we had wasn't a random one, that was due to that incident that it was called, but you know, stranger things have happened. They could have thrown us a curveball, and that could have been the random safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one I've just noticed coming in too is Bo Kubis. So we're just on the edge of the start of this fuel window now. So I'd be looking to see that these top guys maybe get their stops over and done with. And as they're coming up on the back of the field, obviously now they're going to get a bit more room to play with as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing Simon Mazzomo there in the Rd16 entry, and he got a bit of a heave-ho, and I think that was Daryl Carter. And I tell you what, these boys are racing for sheep stations down here, 3 wide, down into 2 wide, and he's just got Daryl Carter behind him, Daryl Hockey in front of him.
Yeah, and every spot you can go for now, it doesn't matter whether you're first or last. I mean, they're going to have some really good racing, and if you can gain one spot, I mean, you look at the championship, you're going to be again in a couple of places possibly as well.
Oh, definitely, and you know, as our track camera's getting a big workout here with all those rocks, but it brings good coverage here for the viewers. But I tell you what, normally this is why qualifying is so important, isn't it, for a lot of these guys? When you have this much traffic out there, you really want to be in the top 10 just to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. I guess the only thing you've got to worry about if you are top 10 and there are some big incidents is you're going to catch up to some of the lap cars a little sooner, but most of these guys are pretty aware of who they're coming up behind, and especially the guys that are getting overtaken. They're not going to want to ruin the racing that's going to be up front either.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, folks, where Josh Rogers is, he's actually in the pits taking service at the moment, and that means Glenn Postlethwaite is taking the lead. But we see now Josh Rogers leaving. 17.4 seconds is the... to take a breath, because I always worry when they thread back into this traffic, and all the traffic's done a good job to get around Josh there, but it's always a heart-stopping moment, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and there's a massive delta difference between car top speed there. So the guys that are coming down the front straight, you know, they're getting up there 270, 280 range, and if you're coming out of pits, 140, 150 k's is quite a big difference there.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we've seen impact at Phillip Island previously with the V8 supercars, where the leaders actually come in contact with the car exiting the pits and pretty much destroying the race. But as we see the Chiani car in the background there getting looped again, having a bad time of it. But I'm surprised actually, Daniel, they're not using the long exit or the motorbike exit tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there are some benefits to not. I mean, if you can get out and maybe have enough of a run to get in, you're okay. But the one disadvantage to the motorbike exit is when you enter, you're up on the dirty stuff. So you've got more chance, if you're not careful, of throwing it off into the weeds.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense. We can see the two Synergy boys in at the moment. Jordan Ross is also in. He's got that car fast repaired, and they're on their way out. So Ian Ford is leading now. We'll see if he comes in next time. We've got his teammate, I think it's his teammate Ryan O'Sullivan, in second. Riley Blythe, also ERT in the MPMS entry, third. Sean Evans, also for ERT, in fourth. And Thomas Hinds, well, Thomas is an odd one out because he's not actually with ERT, and he's sponsored by Edge Auto Concepts.
Yeah, and actually we've seen in the last few races too that Thomas has been in. He's quite a achiever out of the field, I think. Not a lot said from him, but he ends up with a really good showing coming into the race as well. So keep an eye on him. If he's up to pace, I mean, he definitely could go quite far into this.
Oh, definitely, and the race is definitely going his way at the moment. Just looking at the lap time, the pit times here, Josh Rogers did a 17.4. We'll jump up to our leader and see if he's coming in. Posy 16.7, 17.9 to Jordan Ross. So it looks like they're going to be in that range for a good pit stop. Jason Bentz 19.1 seconds, and as my telemetry is jumping all over the place. Yeah, so a good stop around here. High 16's a fantastic stop, but the mid 17s to low 18s. Yeah,
definitely. And I just noticed a couple of the ERT cars heading into pits actually having a spin. We had Ryan O'Sullivan had a bit of a lose, and same with Sean Evans. So they're trying to maximise their pit stops here, and just pushed a little too hard, got a bit of the grass, and they've actually looped both those cars.
Yeah, I was trying to pick it up on our camera there, but cameraman didn't quite get it in time, and he didn't get a very good view either, so we might have to see if we can get better camera positions next time.
Quite possibly, but actually Sean did a great job so he didn't loop that, he had it all locked up going into pits, so let's see if he gets a pit lane speeding penalty as a result of that one.
Yeah, there'll be an interesting debriefing amongst the two teammates there at the end of tonight. I guess, a lot of stuff can be racing happens, but as a team manager, you probably wouldn't want to see your guys getting tangled up with each other too much.
No, not at all. And I mean, you don't want that in the team. It's a little stressful for some of the guys. I mean, they want to put on a good show for sponsors and obviously boost the team up through that championship result. So whether it's professional real life stuff or what we're doing here, no team manager wants to see their cars off on the side of the road.
Yeah, well, my heart just skipped a beat there. We're looking at Ian Ford there coming back on to Gardner Straight. He took two wheels off. He actually had it crossed up, the nose pointing in towards the pit lane wall, but fortunately he managed to correct that car before it got out of control. But tell you what, I'm just watching this and my heart skipped a beat.
The pucker factor's pretty high at the moment, especially for Ian there. He wouldn't have wanted to be looking into the pit straight front wall there, so good recovery from him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to look at possibly coming into pits reasonably soon.
Yeah, well, looking at their lap times, he did a 1:32.203. Josh Rogers, he's in the mid to low 130s. His last time 1:30.498. So, Ian's going to have to react to that, I think, because he's 2 to 3 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, definitely. And around this track, especially if you're doing a minute 30, to lose 3 seconds, it's a pretty fair margin of time. So the other thing he's going to have to look out for too, obviously, is this random safety car. If he's out when that car comes, he can't stop for the next lap. So he could end up right at the tail end of this field if he's not too careful as well.
Yeah, and he's staying out. He's not reacting. He's rolling that dice, and we'll see what his lap time is this time through. But I tell you what, Josh is on the march again, and you don't want to muck around too much when it comes to him. Yeah, 1:32.024. Thomas Hinds has jumped into the pits. Michael Talenjak comes through now. He hasn't pitted, and we'll see what sort of a lap time he's done. Yeah, he's in the mid to high 132s. Again, Jake Maloney right behind him, who has done a quick fast repair on that car. But Josh Rogers, he's now 23 seconds down, another 2 seconds out of the leader, and he did another 131.104. So there goes another 9/10 of a second this lap.
Yeah, so Josh, I think, will come out quite comfortably back in the lead, and especially if you look at his overall stop time, under 40 seconds, he's going to have a nice gap when he does cycle back up to the front there.
I definitely will. He's 23 seconds down now from the leader. The leader has a 16-second gap. That's Ian Ford back to Michael Talenjak. So Josh is going to have a really good lead, and he had a really good pit stop too. So it's looking good at the moment for Synergy Sim Racing taking this race.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I might just have to check my telemetry, because I'm not actually seeing Josh on here at the moment. There we go. He's back in second. So, yeah, the joys of our telemetry freezing up on us.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? And we're going to jump on with our race leader here, folks, and we'll do a lap around here with Mr. Ian Ford and give you some ideas of the top speeds. They're doing 276 kilometres an hour at the top of Gardner Straight, just as they lift off to come into turn one. We're into the southern loop now, down into second gear, and 168 k's exit from that part of the circuit.
Yeah, it's quite impressive speeds and lap times that these boys are able to generate from these cars, especially around this circuit.
Yeah, it certainly is. Down to first gear now, coming down to Siberia up to third. Should probably pop it to second, maybe. Yep, down to second. I tell you what, I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Well, look, you're not getting any criticisms from my end, mate. I'm happy to sit back and listen at the moment. This is quite entertaining.
Yeah, hopefully not entertaining in the ha-ha way. But up through Lukey Heights up here, down to fourth gear. Tell you what, 154 kilometres an hour as he goes across Lukey Heights. It's quite a challenging track, isn't it? It's arguably the highest speed track in Australia, but the way they have the high speed corners coming in, and we're under safety car, he's going to be hung out to dry here.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, and it's random safety car, so it's one of those gambles, I guess. How do you play it?
Yeah, well, folks, the way random safety cars work here, they basically come out for 3 laps. Okay, so the first lap, field catches up, then they generally open the pit lane for 1 lap, which means Ian couldn't react to that. He has to stay out, and then he's going to go back to the longest line in Supercar history, and he's going to be back in about 50th position, I reckon.
Yeah, well, maybe mid to late 30s, I dare say, but Ian's extremely quick. He knows how to navigate his way through the car, so I'd actually, for the entertainment viewers, tune in with Ian, because you'll see some great driving as he makes his way up. But we spoke about at the start of the race, the fuel window, it was right on the limit. We're looking between lap 40 and 20, so he's pushed it right to the end. He may actually do not as bad as we think, because he's going to have a slightly lower fuel fill as well to get him home.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'm just trying to find our race reporter here, Pete Sattler. He's down in 23rd position with a very beat up car. Do you reckon we should roll the dice and bring him in for a chat?
Absolutely.
Hi Pete, Bernie here from RRTV. Are you okay to talk?
Yeah, mate, no worries at all.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we saw you earlier. You're down in 40th. It looks like you got your hands full out there tonight.
Yeah, mate, it's a little bit busy in here, put it that way.
Yeah, we've noticed you've got a little bit of damage. I guess we're coming up to pits. It looks like you haven't stopped yet, so can you tell the viewers a little bit about your strategy without giving too much away?
I have stopped, and I'm all good to go to the end.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to hand you over to Daniel, because I'm getting all shy here. I can't think of any questions. Daniel?
Yeah, g'day Pete. Mate, how are you finding the track change? Obviously the race is getting on a bit now. a bit more rubbish and stuff getting thrown up there. Are you finding the cars reacting a fair bit differently to what we saw at the beginning?
Yeah, I made a comment before that every corner you go through when you're in a train, there's a big cloud of dust, and you obviously have to drive straight through it.
Yeah, and just one question probably for the viewers more so. With your stop, obviously, did you manage to go tyres, or have you just done fuel?
Yeah, done tyres, mate, done tyres, and we're all good to go to the end with fuel as well.
Outstanding. So we're going to make sure to keep an eye on you to see you move up as we go, and looks like you're in good company with your teammate Jaden right behind you there.
Yeah, we're going to do a bit of the old shake and bake and see if we can get back up there a bit further. Had a few issues, got turned around earlier in the race. I think it was probably my own fault rather than anyone else's, so yeah, pretty keen to get back up there and get some more points.
Yeah, definitely. And how have you found with obviously with the start of the race and such a big field, obviously we've seen you had that slight bit of incident. How did you find getting off from the lights there?
Sorry mate, I just had one of my teammates talking to me. Go again.
No, you're right. We're just asking, so with the start of the race and obviously the big field that we've got here tonight, how did you find the opening couple of laps, everything other than obviously the bit of incident contact you had?
Very eventful, mate. There's a lot of aggressive guys out there, really keen to get position while the field's together.
Outstanding. So I think I'm sure Bernie is probably going to focus on you a little bit coming through the end of this race, just outside the top 10, but I think we're going to be in for an extremely entertaining last few laps here.
Yeah mate, should be good. Trying to sort of get fourth back in the championship, so yeah, pretty keen to get up there as far as I can.
Outstanding. Well, we might let you get settled back in, get ready to go, and talk to you no doubt at the end of the race tonight.
No worries, cheers mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, folks, that's Pete Sattler. He's sitting in 14th position, so the race is definitely going to him. And of course, he's got the series sponsors also sponsoring that team, and that's Pagny and Advanced Simulation. So, folks, if you're after your sim cockpit, go over there to Pagny and check out the Next Level Racing cockpits, because they are robust.
Yeah, absolutely, and not a bad price either for any of the guys that are looking to start out or possibly upgrade their gear as they go.
Yeah, definitely. And we are waiting for the safety car to come in now. Josh Rogers will have control of this race. He's got Glenn Postlethwaite right behind him, Jordan Ross third, fourth Riley Blythe, fifth is Tyson Williams. For people looking where Ian Ford is, he's down in 23rd at the moment. So you definitely called that one, Daniel.
Yeah, he hasn't fallen down as far as we thought, but here we go to the green. So just keep an eye on him making his way up into turn one. I wouldn't be surprised if he's all elbows out pushing through.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, there's dust flying up, start-finish line. We've just had one of the HRT cars go off full speed and into the wall. There's a big accident back here.
Yeah, I've just seen a couple of cars go off. Ian's pushing through, but I'm just trying to work out who we actually saw at the back end there having a slight spin.
It was in the right colours. It was all Holden Racing Team, so it was one of those guys, and we're definitely going to bring that action back to you very shortly. Oh, we've also had Ryan O'Sullivan turned. More contact. That's one of the Pagnian cars. Oh man, we've got 4 cars involved in another accident at the hairpin down here.
Yeah, it's oh god, all the boys are elbows out, hands deep, aren't they? That's quite a shame for Ryan. It doesn't look like it was big contact, but there's definitely a couple of cars later on the Exeter Honda that it's all sort of, there's a few bent panels and a few dollar bills to repair that.
Yeah, it was a 97 on the inside. We saw Ryan O'Sullivan spin, and the 94, who was that? 094, up on 2 wheels, it spun the 818 around, and then Steve Varga from Redback Racing had nowhere to go and T-boned him, and then they all just started piling in the back.
Yeah, well, 094's Jaden Borg, so yeah, it's not going to be the best for him, and there's another spinner at bottom of Lukey Heights there as well.
Yeah, so a lot of damage back here. I'm just trying to work out who the 818 was that was involved in that, because he basically got turned across the road and everyone used him as a pinata.
Yeah, well, the 818's Brendan Bateman, and he's come off extremely bad after that restart.
Yeah, it's a very messy. I also want to take us back shortly, folks, to have a look at that high-speed incident and see who that was that went off at 276 kilometres an hour. That car was not turning, but at the moment out front is Josh Rogers, followed by Glenn Postlethwaite, second, third Jordan Ross, fourth Riley Blythe. Rounding out your top 5 is Jackson Evans.
Yeah, and I'm just focusing back in on Ian as he makes his way through, and looks like Forzen, Elnabi and Pete Sattler have a little coming together off the main straight, but and Pete's he's gone off at turn 2 there, so not a great result for our in-race reporter there, but looking at Ian Ford, he's actually back up to 14th after that opening lap, so he's starting to recover and come on quite strong now.
Yeah, we're riding with him at the moment, and it's 777 on the inside, Elnabi on the outside. Tell you what, how do you get around here like that without banging panels?
I have no idea. Kahunas on some of these boys to get around here as well as they are. I don't want to think of the size of those.
Probably bigger than the size of their brain half the time, but no, they're very smart people. I should take that back. I'll get myself into trouble here. But Ian's up to 12th now. He's got Michael Talenjak behind him. He was a car that got a bit squirrely, but Elnabi, he pounced and took that position as soon as he saw the opening.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Elnabi's actually... who's he with? Is he WPS? Yeah, I think he is. So, was one of the ERA cars, locks it up and shoots straight off at the end of Honda there. So, guys are pushing bloody hard at the moment.
They certainly are, and I'm going to jump down and see who that was. I think that might have been Blake Neck.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out who that was.
Yeah, I think it's Blake Neck. We've got him up on here now, and in the 74, so we'll see what's happened here. Yeah, it doesn't look like he might have got a tap, but it looks like it's broken loose under brakes and just snapped on him.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, I don't think it was a touch in. I think it's just locked the back brakes, like you say. So he just kept that off the wall. So no damage on the car, but he'll lose a fair bit of time out in the weeds there. Certainly
will, and I'm going to see if we can find out who that car was that went off at high speed. I think it may have been Bo Cubis, but we'll just have a look here. Yeah, there was no tap, but Bo just went straight on, and talk about Dukes of Hazzard stuff. He's gone straight across the track, and I don't think he's even going to pull it up. He's just going to go straight across. Yeah, he's launched it. My goodness me. So he's gone right across the track, Daniel, right across the infield, launched it across the track, and then into the wall at the end.
It's he might have to be signed up for the next Dukes of Hazzard after that one. That's a big moment there for him for sure.
Yeah, and he ended up just leaving it on the roof. But I'm going to show that one more time, folks. This time we're going to go in the car with him because we know you guys enjoy the Dukes of Hazzard, and we'll just see what's going on here. Okay, it sounds like, Daniel, he's had some sort of hardware failure because that car did not lift. It was just flat out. And he basically didn't lift or turn or brake or do anything.
Yeah, I think once you go that far off, not much point probably pulling it up. Just play out straight into the wall, get out of the way of anyone coming through in towards Honda there and off that corner. So that's quite a shame for him because Bo was running really, really strong tonight. So... he'll get home, reset the car for next week, and look forward to that 75 or the 275 sprint rounds.
Yeah, and I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of resetting of that car because I don't think there's much left of it. I think the managers are starting to have a bit of an auction on that one.
Yeah, so if you know anyone who wants some cheap Holden panels, give Bo a call. I'm sure he'll offload a few.
Well, being a Ford man, I'd say all Holden panels are pretty cheap, aren't they?
Well, if you're a Skyline man, you'd say both of them are pretty cheap.
Yeah, well, touche there. So, let's see how's Ian Ford progressing. He's up to 9th position now and still going forward. He's actually got past Brian Borg, Forza El Nabi, and who's now battling it out there with Brian Borg.
Yeah, and he's closing in on his teammate Sean Evans, so let's keep an eye. He's going to get a nice tow coming off the front straight after this one as well, so a couple more spots I'd say up ahead for him if he can make the moves.
You can see now Forza El Nabi, he's having a look behind Brian here. Will he have a look coming into turn 1? He does, and throws it up the inside and he gets through, but I tell you what, Brian doesn't back out much.
No, not at all, and you can generally get away if you're on the outside there through turn 1. It actually sets you up, if you can keep it in or keep the foot in it, you can get through quite nicely into the southern loop. So I think Brian just played the smart card there, got out of it, and he'll just sit behind and reset and have another crack at it, I reckon.
Yeah, and we're looking at Adam Zeidinger's highway patrol there and trying to chase down Brian, but right across his windscreen he's got Hey Bernie. I wonder who he's talking to there.
Well, yeah, that's it. And it looks like one of the ERT cars actually just spinning. Just going to check who that was actually.
Sean Evans?
I think it might have been.
So just jumping back to this replay now, Daniel. Wow, well that's team-on-team contact there, and that was, who was it? That might have been...
That was Ian, I think.
Yeah, it was Ian.
Well, they sure nearly put on a good slide all the way around the outside there, just didn't quite hold it right at the end.
Yeah, he just looped it, but he's done a good job wheel spinning. He's kept it off the wall though, so no real damage apart from pride, I'd say.
Well, yeah, pride and a few points paying positions. I think he's dropped back from, I think it was 8th at the time, back to 18th. So he's fallen back a little more now, but he's just behind his teammate again, Ryan O'Sullivan. And Ryan's working pretty hard on Michael Temelogy. I'll probably kill that, I'm sorry, Michael, but he's just got up the inside there through Honda.
Yeah, and Sean was involved in that earlier incident, wasn't he? He tripped over a driver, or two ERT drivers tripped over each other coming into the pits.
Yeah, that's right. There was Ian just got it very sideways. Where's he coming up over Lukey Heights there? Just throwing it off into the weeds.
Just having a look at this replay, but yeah, so ERT's tripped over each other a few times tonight. Yeah,
they have been. They've had some cars up in really good points-paying positions for the teams championship. So definitely not the round result they were hoping for, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely not. And Ian's dropped back to 10th now, so he'll start working his way forward. He's actually rejoined after that off behind Brian Borg and Forza El Nabi, so it's cost him quite a few seconds there.
Yeah, definitely, and she's right up on Brian again, so look for him probably to make the move coming up through Honda with the pace that he's got at the moment.
Yeah, and he's not mucking around, is he? He's got about 4 laps of this race to go until this race is complete, as far as I can tell. It's a 33 lap race, isn't it?
It is. He's going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
He's just spun Brian into Honda there, but looks like he's actually holding off on the outside to let him redress the position there. So not the best of moves, but he has backed out of it and readdressed.
Yeah, he seems a little bit, I wouldn't say flustered, maybe a little bit rattled in trying to achieve a really good result in only 4 laps to go. But he's rejoined back there in 17th position.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very careful too with the amount of dirt that he's picked up on those tyres. It'll take a good half a lap as he's sliding again into another ERT car. So he's pushing extremely hard, but the life on those tyres is going to be hurt.
And that car that he slid into is none other than Mr. Sean Evans. And I tell you what, Sean cannot take a trick tonight. And I reckon when he gets out of that car, he's probably not going to be all that happy.
No, not at all. But yeah, that's not some great moving. I'm sure, like you say, there's going to be a few words had back in the trailer once this one wraps up. Yeah,
and we can see now Michael working on the back of Jake. And that's ERT on the hyper-stimulator entry. That's for the stimulator, I don't know, the 14th and 15th. But looking up front at the moment, it's a Josh Rogers show. 4.6 seconds his lead. Back to Pozzie in second, Jordan Ross third, fourth, Riley Blythe, the leaders of ERT. And then Jackson Evans is right behind him. So Jackson's had an awesome race tonight. And he's looking for top 5, definitely trying to improve for a top 4 position here.
Yeah, definitely. Jackson's, he started P16 in the race, so he's moved up quite nicely through the field. I would expect to see him probably having a pretty good battle with Riley as the last couple of laps wind down and maybe even take that spot.
Yeah, we can see now Forsen, he's on the back of Tyson here. And Forsen's going wide. He's out in the dirt coming on to Gardner Straight, and he's going to lose quite a few positions as he gathers it back onto the straight and sitting in the middle of the road, which is fine. You can do that. There's no problem. He's got Adam Zeidinger right behind him with and Adam is battling it out with, I'm not sure who that car is behind him.
He's got.
Or am I imagining things again?
No, I don't think you're imagining things. I'm just very slow on the jumping between at the moment, I think.
Yeah, the 74, but I think the 74 is a lap down. But the police are on their way. I tell you what, I reckon Adam would love to put a couple of lights on this car.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could definitely paint a couple on the roof, which would look kind of cool, but it's a good-looking skin for that car as it's driving around, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and it just looks so awesome. And I reckon a few of these drivers would probably have a bit of a grin on their face if they looked in their mirror and saw this highway patrol car trying to keep up with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure I've even seen, getting back into the real world side, a few drag cars that have had police logos and stuff painted up on them before, and it's good to see even those guys sort of make an effort and get into this type of an event as well. Yeah,
well, a lot of police get involved in the drag racing because it's a good what do you call it? Public social thing where they can get amongst all the drag racers, teach them about where to race their cars safe on the track, all that sort of stuff. So it's a good initiative by the police. But on the last lap here now, folks, Josh Rogers has the lead, 5.5 seconds back to Pozzie in second. 2 seconds gap back to Jordan in third, and then Riley is got Jackson Evans behind him. So there's probably a little bit of a battle going on for the top 4 and 5th, but the rest is looking pretty spread out.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, can't say enough good stuff about Josh for tonight. I mean, he's done a great race, kept his nose out of trouble, and he'll be extremely happy with the win tonight, especially after this result.
Yeah, it certainly will. He's just coming over Lukey Heights for the last time into turn 10, out onto 11, and then he's got really one more corner onto Gardner Straight, and he can start smelling that sweet champagne.
Yeah, definitely, and might as well get up front and watch him cross the line. It's a really good result for Josh, and well done for him.
As we see him go across the line now in the hyperstimulator entry, very happy with that result as he celebrates with a bit of a burnout and drift into turn 1 here, so congratulations to him. Let's have a look at Posies come across the line. So is Jordan Ross, third, fourth, Riley Blythe holds out, Jackson, Forzan El Nabi. Good result by Forzan. He came home in sixth at the end.
Yeah, it was a great result. And just looking, what happened to Thomas at the end there? Because he was running in sixth position there, and he's actually dropped way down the order. So I wonder if he's run out of fuel maybe.
Not sure, we'll go back, but we've got Ian Ford, Sean Evans into the fence on the main straight there, and we'll actually jump back to Thomas and see exactly what's going on with that car.
Yeah, I just looking at the way that the car attitudes come out of that final corner, I would have a guess he's actually run out of fuel there.
Yeah, we're on board with him here. We'll just hear it. He's got acceleration here. Yeah, it's coughed, I think, on the last corner, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's a shame for Thomas. He was the quiet achiever of the race, running up in sixth there. He was doing exceptionally well.
He certainly was, and I want to have a look at... I reckon Sean was just letting off a bit of steam back there, going into the wall at the start-finish line.
Yeah, it looked the same for Ian. It was got on the dirt and just had a bit of a drift up down the main straight there. So those cars are pretty well toast, and the boys might as well just destroy them now.
Yeah, pretty much. And but I tell you what, tonight one car that won't be destroyed is Josh Rogers' hyperstimulator entry. The number 92 takes out Phillip Island 150 here tonight. As you can see, the Team TTL celebrating in style with some fantastic burnouts here.
Yeah, definitely, and congratulations to Josh. It's a great result for the team, and great drive of the day by him, I'd say.
Yeah, he pretty much had that race under control, didn't he, from the start, and even the pit stop strategy, he called it pretty well. The only guy that probably messed up a bit on pit stops would have been Ian, but you don't have a crystal ball out there to know when to pit these cars.
No, definitely not, and that's one of the tough things, especially with this series, having that random safety car. It could bite anyone. It's not going to bite the best of them, not going to bite the worst of them. So everyone's in for a fair shot, but just unfortunate for Ian. When it did fall, he was still out on track.
And the guys are now entered into another competition out here, and that is who can do the best burnout. So who do you reckon can do the best burnout here?
I'm not going to have a guess, but the Synergy boys up there are doing not too bad, and looks like actually Jackson's getting into it back up on the main straight there as well. Yeah,
we've got Posse there, we've got Josh going backwards, and we've got Jackson up there celebrating his fifth. Very happy with that, and Adam's just coasting around. He's out of fuel. No burnouts for you, Adam.
No, not at all. But great result from the top five. And you were saying at the top of the broadcast we hadn't seen much of Synergy. Well, look at what do you know? They're back up second and third. So great result from those fellas.
Certainly is. I reckon we should go through the final results here. Unfortunately, folks, we didn't get to see a lot of cars out there tonight, mainly because we just can't keep up with such a huge field. But let's have a look so you can see where your favourite drivers and teams finished tonight, and then we'll go to post-race interviews. So tonight's win goes to Team TTL. Josh Rogers in first position. He had a 6.3 second gap over Posse in second for Synergy Sim Racing. Jordan Ross finishes in third position, followed by Riley Blythe for ERT in fourth. Jackson Evans comes home in fifth. Forzan El Nabi, great drive by him to bring that car up to sixth position. Adam Zeidinger, also fantastic drive, coming home in seventh. Eighth, Tyson Williams, followed by Thomas Hinds in ninth, and Matt Stratford, he rounds out your top 10.
In P11, we've got Brian Borg for Laser Sim Racing. 12th is Pete Sattler for Stealth Sim Sports. 13th is Jaden Borg. 14th, Ryan O'Sullivan. 15th, Ian Ford. 16th is Sean Evans. 15th is Michael Tolajanic. I'm sure I've butchered that again. Sorry, buddy. 18th, Nathan Tigbaran. 19th, Peter Decker. 20th is Henry King.
21st is Stephen Varga. Jonathan Ben comes home in 22nd. Sean Chappell came home in 23rd tonight. Nick Hausler finished in 24th, followed by Phil Piggott in 25th. Mick Cracknell comes home in 26th, with Jamie Owens in 27th, followed by Jake Maloney in 28th. Simon Mazzomo, he comes home in 29th, and rounding out your top 30 is Cody Trainer.
In 31st, we've got Daryl Hockey. 32nd is Daryl Carter. 33rd is Tony Gaffer. 34th is Damien Charleston. 35th, we've got Matt Torkins. 36th is Mark Fee, and Brendan Bateman running out our lead lap drivers in 37. Moving on to the guys who were a few laps down, we had Jamie McKnight in 38th and 2 laps down, and Blake Knack 39th, also 2 laps down. Michael Ford finished 40th, 9 laps down, and then we've got quite a host of guys who I believe actually retired, and that was, we got Jeff Rayleigh, Jason Bence, Nick Cummings, Jared Tapsell, Bo Kubis, Paul Tarchvar, Shane Rayner, Luke Harvey, Matt Collins, Wayne Taylor, Adam Wayburton, Sean Thompson, Kyle Sloggett, Nathan Mankey, and Benjamin Smith, sorry mate.
Yeah, and it looks like Benjamin, Glenn, Katie and Troy may not have made that grid tonight. If Ben did make the grid, he didn't make the first lap anyway. So quite a list of retirements. It goes to show how hard of racing we had out there tonight. Absolutely, and to have 37 cars at the end of that still on the lead lap, that's a great number, and obviously the guys who we see so far down have had a few issues along the way, but to still have 37 on the lead lap, that's a great result for this series. Yeah, it certainly is, and I'm thinking let's bring Pete Sattler up, our in-car driver tonight. Well, they're all in-car drivers, you know what I mean, in-car reporter, whatever you want to call it. Hi Pete, welcome to RRTV's Combox. Having a look at the moment, looks like you came home in 16th. So, how did you go after we let you get back to racing?
Not that great, mate. I got a pretty good restart, and the car felt really good. And Fawazan had a little bit of a brain fart and decided to dive bomb me down turn 1, ended up off the road and lost about 4 spots. So. But that's alright, I finished right behind Brian, and he's the guy I'm sort of battling with that spot in the championship, so he didn't get too far in front of me.
Yeah, we could see there was a lot of action there on that restart, massive crash in the hairpin. Bo Kubis, I don't know what happened to him, he had some sort of failure and went right across both parts of the track at the start, but were you involved in any of those big accidents at the restart?
No, nothing big, just the little pit stuff that happens every now and then back in the pack. But it's your own fault because you qualified back there. That's the stuff that happens.
Yeah, that's right. And what about the track? Noticed a lot of dirt was thrown onto the circuit over those 33 laps. Did you notice it getting any slipperier or anything like that out there?
Yeah, the hay shed was horrendous towards the end there. You go in there and the thing had just understeer constantly, so you had to go slower and slower each lap, I thought anyway. Okay, well, I'm going to hand you over to Daniel now, but firstly, thanks mate for letting us cross to you under yellow. All the viewers I'm sure would have loved that. It's a very popular segment, so thanks for letting us do that. Well, I really appreciate it. Yeah, too easy.
Yeah, look, sorry to hear about the few issues at the end there, Pete, but again, great drive from yourself, mate. How, obviously with the restart and that couple of incidents, how'd you find the car? Was there any damage once that occurred?
No, it didn't seem to be any. I think it was just cosmetic, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you look like you're in for a really good battle there with Forza. I think Ian was right behind him as well, so it's not a great way to see you finish, but like I say, you're not that far behind Brian at the end of that race.
So we've pretty much been stuck together the whole season, so nothing's changed.
Now, were you, from what I can see, I think you were also top driver for the team tonight?
Looking now, yeah, I think so, yeah. Jaden was nice enough to give me the spot for some points, so thanks, Jaden.
Yeah, no, that's great, mate. Well, obviously we move forward to the next round, so setup work begins for you in the next couple of days.
Yeah, definitely. Got a bit of work to do, so we'll get to it.
No worries, mate. Well, look, before we let you go, would you like to give a shout out to the sponsors for tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Pagnow for all the support, Leading Edge Computers. You guys do a great job, and I hope we support your brand very well.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Pete. You better go back and start polishing that car for next week, mate.
Cheers, mate.
So we've got Thomas Hinds in the green room, and I'm thinking we'll bring him up, then we'll bring up... well, I'll let you choose. Who would you like to speak to, Daniel?
Oh, mate, look, I'm pretty easy. I mean, I don't know, let's go with Thomas. He had a good run tonight, and I'm sure he's got a few stories to tell at the end there with the issues with the fuel.
Okay, well, I'll let you start this one.
G'day, Thomas. Welcome to the RRTV commentary box, mate.
Hello, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
It was quite a good race for you tonight. Obviously, it looks like a little bit of fuel issues at the end there. How did you find it?
Was it that obvious? Damn it. It was good fun, generally. It was certainly action-packed, so I guess with, 54 drivers or whatever, that was sort of to be expected. I just tried to keep it clean as best I could, as always. But yeah, it was generally alright. I just, annoyed at myself again, because I did it in OSR main earlier in the week as well, but he got the fuel wrong then, and I got it wrong again here. So apparently maths fails me when I'm trying to do it. So yeah, I filled it up, and then I realised, I was like, oh shoot. So thankfully the safety car came out, and that kind of saved me a bit more. And I thought I was safe once the safety car came out, but then I looked at the numbers and I did a little bit of number crunching, and then I realised it was going to be like really marginal. So I was like, oh no. So I had to pretty much the last 6 or 7 laps, I was just fuel saving like mad. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Could have had 6th for sure if I hadn't have coughed out, but down the straight. But hey, top 10's top 10. From 19th or 20th, whatever I qualified, I'll take it. Especially with such a big field with so many talented drivers in it, I'll definitely take a top 10. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. We were keeping an eye on you. I think probably one of the quiet achievers for the night. I think you were up as high as 2nd or 3rd during the race. So, great job keeping the nose clean and putting on a really good show tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I was just sort of plugging away. It's sort of what I usually do. I don't really set the world alight with pace or anything. I just kind of plug away, put in consistent laps, and especially when others have issues like a lot of people had tonight. I just pick up the pieces because I'm able to just pump in those laps, lap after lap. So yeah, as I said, a bit of a shame for the fuel, but I'm just glad I managed to get it at the end because it was really touch and go those last few laps. It was really line ball. So I'm glad it actually got to the end. A little bit of a shame that coughed out. I probably could have done a little bit more fuel saving, a little bit more extremely, just so it didn't cough out when it did. But as I said, 9th to 9th, and that's good for the championship. I think that should keep me around about where I am in the top 10, which is good. It was good fun. Hopefully bring on next week, and hopefully keep the top 10s and that kind of thing coming.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And look, thank you again very much for coming up. Would you like to, obviously you've got a few sponsors there you'd like to give a plug to as well?
Yeah, of course. GTI and Carney, they're our main sponsors. Obviously, big thanks to them for their sponsorship of the team, and also Edge Auto Concepts for that livery. Obviously, it's the main sponsor of the livery I run in the V8s. So again, big thanks to them, especially for the livery. It's a super cool livery. And Cinedet's thing that stands out a bit from the crowd as well, which is quite cool. That orange and black, it's a bit different. And again, as I always say, I'll keep saying every week because I just feel like I should. Again, big thanks to the team as always for the help, and for also putting up with me when I don't get a good result. I can be a little bit get a bit down from that. So again, big thanks to them for the help and just for having me on board. Hopefully keep it rolling onto next round. And again, thanks to you guys for the broadcast as well. Always good.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for coming out, and obviously we're going to look forward to seeing you in the next few rounds as we wrap it up at the championship there.
Yeah, indeed. Yep, and thanks for having me on. And I'll probably see you next week.
Fantastic. That was Thomas Hinds. Comes home in 9th, and one of the cars that coughed fuel. And I'll tell you what, Daniel, they were right on the edge as far as their fuel mileage was going.
Oh, absolutely. I think Thomas was probably one of the first guys that came in. So, yeah, a little bit of a shame for him that he coughed and spluttered at the end there. But, we said partway through the race he was a quiet achiever, so he's done outstandingly good.
Yeah, he definitely has. We're going to bring up our race winner now, Josh Rogers, and have a chat with him. And then after that, we'll bring up Tyson Williams.
No worries.
Hi Josh, welcome to the RRTV Combox. Congratulations, mate. Epic effort out there tonight, and it looked like that race just went your way from the start to the finish.
Yeah, no, hey boys. Yeah, it was a good night overall. Car was great. Track's great. Love Phillip on. The racing seemed a little bit hectic out there for most. But yeah, I guess for us, the Clear made it a little bit smooth sailing and a little bit safer. But yeah, no, all in all, it was a really good night.
Yeah, well, I reckon it would have made it a lot safer because we saw a lot of action back in the field, but it looked like you pretty much got a decent lead out there and pretty much controlled the race from there. The pit stop you did looked really good. Was there anything that didn't go right for you guys tonight?
I don't know. I would say because I went a little bit safe on my fuel calculations, so I put in 2 to 3 litres too much, which was probably the reason that it popped me out in that little pack with Falls and Stratty and I can't remember who else it was, but yeah, that hindered us a little bit. Although then the safety car came later on in the race, so that would have been wouldn't have mattered and wouldn't have changed anything anyway. But yeah, look, that was probably one of the biggest downfalls of that race, really. Otherwise, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, and we saw when you came out of the pits, as you were saying, where you re-entered there in that pack, the difference in speed looked phenomenal. Were you a bit concerned at that point as you re-entered the circuit that you weren't going to sort of get cleaned up?
It was a little bit sketchy, not gonna lie. Phillip Island's pit exit is always a little bit dangerous. But yeah, it was pretty close down to turn 1. I was nearly on the grass, and I felt like we were almost bumping doors. So yeah, no, it was a little bit scary, but kind of glad that they all made it around me, and I didn't have to go around the outside of somebody through turn 1. That wouldn't have been great on cold tyres.
No, definitely not. There's nowhere to go once you get out there. But I'm just going to hand you over now to Daniel, because I'm sure he's got some more questions for you.
Yeah, Josh, congratulations again, mate. How'd you find your car set up, get you through the race, and obviously what was the tyres like towards the end there?
Oh yeah, geez. The race wasn't I guess the car wasn't too bad throughout the race. It's one lap pace was quite good, but towards the end the tyres definitely seemed to go away a bit. I was a little bit inconsistent with my driving though, locking brakes and going a little bit too deep and sliding out of the corner, so that probably didn't help it too much. But yeah, the tyre wear probably wasn't perfect, considering it was an incredibly cold track. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as bad as it was, but yeah, nah. Look, the 1 lap speed was definitely on point, but yeah, that tyre wear is something to work on.
Oh, it's always been a track though that's not the kindest to the tyres. We saw a few cars obviously coming up towards being lapped in that. Did you find much resistance from those guys, or just they saw you come and jumped out of the way and sort of gave you plenty of room?
No, it was pretty smooth. There was heaps of courtesy shown by them, and I'll show the same courtesy back. So yeah, no, look, it was really good. All the lap traffic was quite good actually. So yeah, no complaints there.
No worries. Well, before we let you go, mate, obviously shout out for a few sponsors for yourself.
Oh yeah, just as always, huge thanks to Hyper Simulator. They treat us well. They've got some cool rigs, Formula spec. So yeah, go check those guys out if anyone's interested in looking at rigs. Also, the boys at TTL for all of the hard work they do, strategizing and whatnot, and also custom image concepts. They made our car look smick, and he's always up to people wanting some skins done. So yeah, get on to custom image if you're looking for anything.
No worries. Well, again, congratulations on top step of the podium tonight, mate, and look forward to seeing you out on track for the next event.
Cheers. Thanks for the broadcast as always, too, guys.
Fantastic. Well, that was Josh Rogers, folks, our race winner. And I tell you what, he seemed very calm about the whole thing, didn't he, Daniel? But Josh is always pretty calm like that. And a great effort.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he led pretty much start to finish. Didn't really put a foot wrong that entire race. So it's a fantastic result for him and the team.
It certainly is. We've got a couple more interviews to go, folks. We've got Tyson Williams waiting down. We'll bring him up. Tyson came home in, says 8th position here. Maybe my telemetry's wrong. And then we'll bring up Simon Mazzomo for our final interview. Hi Tyson, welcome to RRTV. Thanks for waiting to come up. Congratulations. We've got conflicting things here though. One telemetry tells me you got home in 10th, the other one says 8th. Where did you come home exactly?
I think 8th, but I don't know. I think it would have gotten affected. I think I got it removed before everyone sort of left the track, so I'm not sure.
Okay, and how did the race go for you? We noticed there's a lot of action midfield, and did you get caught up in any of that, or what was your experience with it all?
No, I didn't really get caught up in any incidents, really. I came from pretty far back, and the incidents definitely helped me through my charge through the field. Luckily, I didn't really get caught up in too much of it. But, I think it was a good effort by me. Little practice, and setup didn't feel the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, fair enough. What about the track? How did you find that as the race progressed? A few guys were saying it got a bit sketchy in places.
I found it really chewed up the rear tyres. I lost a lot of traction right at the end of the run. Okay,
I'm going to hand you over to Daniel, and he can have a chat with you.
Yeah, g'day Tyson. Look, congratulations on the finish, mate. Good result. How did you find with obviously the amount of cars we've had on track tonight? Did you find much issue, especially coming from as far back in the field as you did tonight?
This track's sometimes one of the harder tracks to make passes on. There's plenty of spots for it, but you can really defend here, and it just becomes a struggle to get through the field most of the time. But I mean, with the cautions and the pit stop strategies differing from each other, it sort of helped my charge through the field a fair bit with in that respect. So I didn't really have to pass too many cars on track, but yeah, the ones I did have to pass were a bit of a struggle for me.
Yeah, we're just having a quick look through through your stop times. I think you were pretty much stationary for near on 50 seconds. Was there any major work that needed to be done to the car, or was it just a slightly longer stop?
No, well, I'll thank TTL's Richard Hampstead and actually everyone in TTL that was in TeamSpeak tonight. They were giving me the fuel numbers. I was working with Rogers, and yeah. So I think we overfueled a little bit. We took 40 litres. I think some people, you could have gotten away with a bit less, but I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry. A few cars ran out of fuel.
Yeah, well, I think Tyson just finished behind yourself. We found out that he obviously was a bit short coming to the end of the race there. So with that said, did you have much left in the tank at the end there?
I think I had 2 laps.
Yeah, okay, so that's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse, I guess. We obviously move on with the sprint rounds next for the 75 lap. Oh, was it 75-minute one? So obviously we'll see you out on track for that event. Now, did you want to have a shout out to any of your sponsors before we let you go, mate?
Yeah, well, thank ANZ Motorsports, Alward and Hudson Accounting, Stowe. And TTL Esports for giving me a hand this race.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, Tyson. Congratulations on your top 10 finish, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing you back out on track next round.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Okay, folks, our final interview for tonight is Simon, I hope I got it right here, Simon Mazzomo. Is that correct, Simon?
Perfect. Said it perfectly. Sure you're not Italian?
No, I don't have the roll off the tongue, but yeah, congratulations, mate. I reckon you're probably the biggest mover and shaker of this field tonight, starting in 49th position and finishing in 29th position. That's a hell of a run, and it must have been a crazy ride for you.
It was actually until when we had that final safety car, because I think I was sort of around 40th, but when that final safety car came out, I sort of thought, I'll take a set of tyres, because I was sort of down the back anyway. So I thought, I'll down the back anyway, I might as well take the rear. So I took another set on that safety car, and that restart happened, and obviously cars went left, right, and centre, and I got an advantage out of that. But I just had plenty of tyres left to push right to the end, which kept me there, because I had a few guys behind me that were catching me and were all over me. So they helped me. The tyres, helped me get to the end, which was good.
Yeah, it definitely is, but getting that many positions in 33 laps is pretty awesome. How was the traffic out there? Because I know we're looking at some of the battles out there, and in some places it was crazy, but I guess you experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. People were very vocal tonight about the standard of driving. I didn't think it was too bad. There was a few moves and places that were a bit questionable. I think it just comes down to just a bit of patience. But Phillip Island's a bit like that. I think it generates that little bit of push and shove, which is good. It's really nice for that. You can really get into it. But I think patience would have been the key to a lot of people being able to get to the end tonight.
Yeah, especially with the field we had. We had well over 50 drivers there take to the grid, probably one of the biggest fields we've seen in this series anyway, and a lot of action, that's for sure. But I'm going to hand you over to Daniel, but before I do, congratulations, mate, biggest mover and shaker award, and you can go and put that on your mantelpiece.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Simon. Mate, obviously starting as far back in the field, how did you find, obviously, the room that was being given and being able to make the moves where you wanted to get past?
For the most part, I think it was pretty good. Like I said, there was a few people that were just pushing and shoving, but even then, it was still pretty good. Most of the guys I was racing against were willing to give room and sort of really run side by side with you. I think there was one guy, I can't remember who it was, but we were running side by side for half the track at least. So when people wanted to give room, they gave room really well. I think it was probably just the pack in front of me that was probably the bit more aggressive, and that's where most of the incidents were started happening, because I could see him in front of me, especially after the restart. I could see it all happening in front of me, but it was that pack in front, not where I was at the time. So I guess I was fortunate in being there that I missed a lot of that carnage that sort of happened. It wasn't far from me a few times, but I was fortunate in that aspect.
Yep, and obviously you said you had some tyres that you took in the second stint. Did you find, obviously over the course of the initial stint, there was much fall off with your setup tonight?
A lot of fall off in that first stint. I actually went down on tyre pressures, and the first pit stop I did, I actually dropped tyre pressures and I actually felt better. So when that safety car came out, I sort of took that opportunity. I knew it wasn't going to be a big advantage, but I thought it'd be just that little bit extra grip to sort of have at the end of the race, which obviously was massive. I think by the end of by the last lap of that race, I was probably running on the wires at that point. There was not much left in them, but the drop off, it was fairly quick, but it was stable for the majority of the race. But right at the end, it was like what the old F1 cars had. They were just, you had that cliff. It's just they were good, and then bang, they were just bad after that. So they hit that bit right at the end. But for the most part, they were fairly stable all the way through the race.
And obviously now we look ahead. I think we're off to Okayama as the next course, which is a bit more technical than what we're probably used to Phillip Island. Do you think you'll find a big change as far as setup's going to be required to get the car around there comfortably?
Yeah, definitely. Spa and Phillip Island, I think for me, setup wise, were fairly similar. I think I needed a bit more point here just to sort of get you into the corner, but otherwise they were fairly similar. Okayama, there's probably sector 2 off memory that you really need the car to be able to sort of turn in and drive off the corner. Otherwise, it's fairly similar, especially sector 1. It's fairly similar. You really want a car to be able to float through the corners and keep your mid-speed momentum up. But sort of set that mid-sector, you really want a car that can sort of drive off the corners because you got the big hairpin, and then after that you got the 2 sort of sharp corners. That you really want the car to be able to get off those corners really well, and I think that's where a lot of time's going to be made.
Yeah, definitely, and like I say, there are some pretty sharp corners there where you're going to want a nice bit of traction there. So obviously, as Bernie's alluded to already, biggest mover award for yourself, so congratulations on that one. Before we let you go, mate, have you got some sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to?
Probably a big thank you to Mark Fee for dragging me in and having a run tonight, and all his help, of course. He's always a big hand in getting me in these races. Sean Chappell as well for helping me out with the setups and stuff tonight, and of course our sponsors Riftech and HTR again for all the massive help they do in getting me racing.
Thank you very much again for coming in, mate, and we look forward to seeing you out on track for the next event.
No worries, thank you.
So that was Simon Mazzomo, folks. Biggest mover and shaker award from 49th up to 29th. So that's a huge effort, Daniel.
Absolutely, especially with the size of the field we saw tonight and some of those incidents towards the end there. So Simon did outstandingly well. I think he finished up with only 2 incidents. So, great racecraft from himself to get through the field and not have any big issues.
Yeah, exactly right. And as you were saying, patience would have played a big part in that as well. But let's have a look at the preliminary points roundup after tonight, and we'll go through a bit of this, Daniel.
Yeah, definitely. So, following on from a sprint round at the end of tonight, we see in Fords obviously still maintained position 1. There's been a switch for P2 and 3 between the Evolution racing team cars, with Riley Blythe actually jumping to 2nd and Luke Harvey just slightly falling off into 3rd there. Pete Sattler remains 4th, and Thomas Hinz is actually holding in 5th. So, unfortunately Thomas had that issue with the fuel, but he's still maintaining a quite solid top 5 position at the moment.
Yeah, and we can see Brian, he's jumped 3 positions up to 6. Jaden Borg, well, he's jumped up 1 to 7th. And I guess Mick Cracknell, Henry King, they've both dropped the positions which Brian and Jaden have taken over, so they've had a bit of a rough time there. But of course, Posy, after his great run tonight, jumps 3 and gets into the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a really good result for him. But just from what I can see at the points, I mean, he's only 84 points off Henry King, so he's well in the points there to take another spot if he has another great result like last night. And the other probably one to keep a good eye on is that battle starting to form between Brian and Jaden Borg as well. I think there's 14 points between those 2 boys at the moment, so I think we're in for a really good remainder of the season, and that top 10 looks like it might change up just a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a few contenders in there. I can see that that could definitely shake things up as this season continues. Of course, next week, folks, Friday night's a 70-70 race. That's 2 sprint races that won't be covered on RRTV because we only cover the 150s and 650s. Then I think after that, Daniel, they've got a week off after next week, so we'll be back with the AEOSC in probably about 3 weeks' time.
I will actually double check that because might be right, because there's we've got Okayama, then we followed up with Road America, which is a 650 race. We have a week off over the 9th, and then we've come back for Mosport and wrap up the season at Bathurst. So 4 good fun tracks, I think, going to lead us out for this championship.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm looking forward. I was going to say looking forward to the end of this championship. That doesn't come out right. I'm looking forward to see how this championship shapes up as it goes, because it's been a cracker. Lots of action and a lot of entertainment, and as always, a lot of heartbreak. But As always, folks, it's been great calling this action. If you're into your open wheeler action this weekend, RRTV will be bringing you the Australasian Super Skips on Sunday night from 8:45, and that's a fantastic series. Basically, it's double the length of a normal official race, and one pit stop is required in the Skippy. So that's Sunday night and Watkins Glen, and then we back that up on Monday night by coming back with the Monday night lights again at Watkins Glen. So I'd say, Daniel, a lot of guys are going to be using Sunday night as a way to get ready if they're into the strength of field racing on the Monday night.
Yeah, definitely, and there's no better test session you can have than being on a field of full of cars. So, like I say, those guys will use that to get the sets dialed in, and I think the Monday especially will be a fantastic race to look forward to.
Yeah, the Monday Night Lights is also the Aussie Strength of Field. It's normally in the top 5 strength of fields for that week in the world. Sometimes we've been the top one, but last week we had 4 splits of 17 drivers, I think it was, turn up, and we've got a lot of European guys. Some of the Aussies got a little bit beat up last week, so no doubt they're going to want to come back and have a better week of racing.
Yeah, definitely, and I think makes you want to rebound more than having a slightly off week the week ago. So no, it'll be good, and the Australian boys that run those skippies, they're lightning quick, and they'll put on a great show and take it to the internationals as well.
Yeah, exactly right, and of course for the GT3 folks, we haven't forgotten you guys. We have, but we haven't. The Selby Endurance Series will be coming back in 2 weeks' time, and we'll be going to Le Mans there for a 10-hour enduro, so that'll also be on RRTV. But apart from that, Daniel, there's not that much more on our channel next week. A bit of a quiet week.
Yeah, which will it's nice to have a bit of a breather, but it'll be good wrapping up, especially to round it out with the endurance round at Le Mans. That'll be great to watch, and hopefully we see a few more participations in that Porsche.
Yeah, well, we definitely need people joining the Porsche Cup class there. So if you want to try your hand at endurance racing, folks, I can tell you there are people, or you will be accepted into the Porsche Cup class, and we'd welcome you with open arms, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and I think I noticed too just recently, looks like ERT are actually sponsoring a car in that event, so for any of the guys that want to have a run in the Porsche and take it to those guys, get on board and have a run.
Yeah, definitely, and we'd like to get that filled up because it's a fantastic car. It drives really well. As far as top-end speed, it's quicker than a GT3. It just suffers under braking, but apart from that, it's a great car to fang around Le Mans in for 10 hours anyway.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, Daniel, it's that time of the night, mate. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed calling the race once again. I definitely enjoyed having you in here, and hopefully all the viewers out there enjoyed the experience as well.
Yeah, look, thanks for having me up again, mate. It's probably one of the most interesting ones I've done, trying to keep on top of all the action that happens, and with a field of 50 cars, there's no shortage of it, is there?
No, there's a heck of a lot of action. I'm sure we missed a lot of it, but we tried to cover off as much as we could. But 50 cars, you're definitely going to miss it. But mate, thanks once again. It's always a pleasure having you up here calling the races. You're the expert of these cars, and you bring a lot of expertise to the call. And without you, mate, these broadcasts wouldn't be happening.
Look, thank you for putting the time in over and over to help get this off the ground, mate. So anything I can do is just a bit of extra assistance for myself to help you, and obviously give a bit back to the community.
No, it's fantastic. Also, Les got back to us about those beers, mate. You know how you said you wanted the beers?
Yes. I think I noticed he was going to overnight them, wasn't he?
No, he said he's going to send them Australia Post. He said they may get here in the next couple of weeks. Okay,
so we'll expect the glass in the bags and not the beer.
Well, if Australia Post opens them, there will be no beer in there.
Yeah, that's a shame. Anyway, thanks again, Les.
Yeah, mate. Thanks, Les. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Hope everyone out there enjoyed tonight's telecast of the Australian Online Supercar Championship. We definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. If you liked it and you got friends out there, tell them about what we're doing and see if they'll like it as well. But until Sunday night, folks, I hope you have a great evening and a great weekend. On behalf of Daniel Lead, I'm Bernie Weemers, and you guys can go and open another beer. Good night.